No, you.
No, first you go.
No.
Arey, go.
No, sorry.
Arey, nahi, sir. Come on.
North Indian will now say that Karnataka means South. No, Karnataka different. Should we change the capital of the country from New Delhi to Bangalore?
So that's a pretty part of Karnataka. Let's talk about politics. Politics is usually dirty.
I'm Rajdeep Sardesai. She's Preeti Choudhry. Just in case you got it wrong. Identity questions.
When I was there covering the last election, I thought access were very easy for a journalist who comes from Delhi. There's something about politicians that come from the north. For example, I was sitting and I wanted to do a quick interview with Siddaramaiah. There was an auto, I wanted to do it differently. He told me, Beto. And he sat down with me and I was just, I had zero access come from, it's easier in the south.
But Karnataka.
Karnataka, okay.
North Indian will now say that Karnataka means South. No, Karnataka different.
Okay, I'm saying Karnataka different. Five different
that's
things
right.
about
Because
Karnataka.
I'll tell you why. Because you go to Tamil Nadu, for example.
Yes.
Very difficult to get access to politicians. Karnataka, much more open, accessible, and very warm. I remember once asking this to Narayan Murthy, what makes Bangaloreans so accessible and generally pleasant people. He said the weather. C.V. Raman, the great scientist, said, give me he sort of craved for Bengaluru's weather, which is why he set up the institute there.
He never anticipated the traffic.
He never anticipated the traffic, but even in cricket, Gundappa Vishwanath and Rahul Dravid, generally seen as sort of the gentleman of cricket. Badminton, the great Prakash Padukone, Narayan Murthy when it comes to industry, and generally the politicians of Karnataka are very accessible. You can actually probably walk into the
for example, I'll give you another example. The other day I wanted to get DK Sivakumar on my show. Now, he's one of the top guns in Karnataka, very busy man, and I got his number. I called him up. He picked up the phone. He doesn't have my number because I don't really cover Karnataka politics. He picked up my phone. Okay, Preeti, what time you want to record?
Should we change the capital of the country from New Delhi to Bangalore? That might help. But you're right. Okay, so one change is accessibility.
Accessible. Now you give me one.
Okay, one change, and I'm being a little naughty right at the very start. There is actually a Congress party. When out of all the states in the country, the one state where you really see that the Congress party locally is strong, with a cadre, with leaders, who have roots, who are rooted, not sitting in drawing rooms, but actually have a mass connect, is Karnataka.
Strong local leadership.
Strong local leadership. We talk about Siddaramaiah and Shiv Kumar, but you can talk about many other leaders. There's M.B. Patil, who is, sort of trying to build his Lingayat base around himself. And over the years, Mallikarjun Kharge is of course now Congress president. But you go across the regions of Karnataka and you will find strong district level leaders within the party. It is one of the few states, therefore, which is rooted, where the Congress is rooted in local politics, and which is why the Congress, interestingly, is localizing this election. What is this Nandini versus Amul battle about? Or what is it that even when there is a war in Sudan, immediately picked up by a Siddaramaiah and said, you got to save our Kannadigas there. So they've decided that they're going to make this election local, while the BJP still relies on Modi magic. I mean, if the BJP is still hopeful of Karnataka, it's because Mr. Modi will be there for the last 10-15 days, with a campaign blitzkrieg. So that makes Karnataka different. The fact that there is a party called the Indian National Congress still vibrant.
And it's still strong.
These are states where you look at the social base of Karnataka. Large Dalit population, substantial Muslim population, large OBC population. And these were the bedrock of this sort of umbrella party that the Indian National Congress was. Congress was the umbrella party that brought all of this together. So the social base didn't fracture as it did in Uttar Pradesh and North India. It remained solid. And that, I think, is one reason why the Congress has been thrown. Plus, it's far away from Delhi. The further away you are from Delhi,
but throws up the maximum number of hung houses as a state.
You see, that is because...
An alternative government like Rajasthan.
You see, that's because Karnataka, very interestingly, in recent times has become, and that's the third factor that we're talking about. Karnataka is one of the few states where you have a strong three-party system. The BJP won last year Karnataka with 34% of the vote, was single largest. The Congress actually had 38, which means that the two parties had 72 between them. That means there was 28% still there between independents and the JDS. The JDS usually gets anything between 16 to 19%. You've got a strong third party. Now, there is no few other states. I'm trying to think which other state has a strong third party. To some extent, Maharashtra could now, that could happen if all Shiv Sena, BJP, Congress, NCP fight separately. But in Karnataka in the last 20, 25 years, particularly since Devagowda broke away, formed, or took over the Janata Dal in a way, you've got this sort of situation where of three parties competing fiercely with each other. That's why Karnataka becomes a difficult state to call. I was going to say one of the distinctive qualities of elections in Karnataka is the role of independence. You see, this is one of the few states where independents play a role. Why? Because if I don't get a ticket from one of the major parties, I contest as an independent, I have my 5,000 or 6,000 caste support base.
And this independence only going to grow, no? Because so many of the BJP or the Congress who have not been given tickets.
In every election, in fact, one of the X factors of Karnataka this time is who is able to put up or sponsor the maximum number of effective independents. In a closely run race, independents normally will pick up 500, 600,000 votes. In Karnataka, they pick up 5,000, 6,000.
For example, what I found was fascinating, and it's totally off the charts here. In 2019, in Amethi, how many independents with the name of Rahul? Over 11. Which is,
in one constituency.
Yeah,
that happens.
So Rahul
that happens
Gandhi faced off with 11 Rahuls.
No, but that happens now. But Preeti, that happens in different parts of the country to confuse the voter.
Anything.
That happens in different parts of the country. You put up candidates with same names to confuse the voters. The difference here is that, as I said, many independents actually carry weight because caste is such a big factor in sub-caste. And which will lead me to, if and when you permit me, a fifth factor, which is unusual.
We'll make it sixth.
There is no other state where I know where Dalits are referred to as right and left.
As it?
Touchable and untouchable Dalits.
No, UP?
Right and left. You call them right Dalits, right, and left Dalits. So it's very interesting. There is no other state where I know that is the manner in which they're divided. If you're a Dalit who doesn't face untouchability, then you're a right Dalit. If you're a Dalit who's right at the bottom of the pyramid facing untouchability,
I'll simplify. Does right mean BJP and does left
no,
mean
not at all. That's the. In fact, the BJP did very well among the left.
So touchables and untouchable, but that's a concept in UP Dalits also. No. There are three kinds of Dalits.
No, but in UP you will call them based on their caste groups. Subcaste.
Untouchables or untouchables?
No, you say Jat, you say Jatavs, you say
right.
You give them their caste name.
But even in that hierarchy of untouchability, one is higher than the other, no?
Of course there is, but I didn't know that they were called right and left till I went to Karnataka. Dalit vote is critical in Karnataka. It's not given enough attention.
How much percentage?
Varying figures, 18%, some say 22%. Other states as high as 22%.
We know it if there was a caste census, but that's
we know
debate.
if it was caste census. So that's the other thing. Now you go ahead.
No, okay. I think my
number 6.
What I feel is, in the state of Karnataka, I think there's a very distinct voter, very different than any other state. If you go to Bangalore and the urban pocket, I have never known such trigger-happy activists. You can get them together on any cause. Whether it is a pothole, they're very active as citizens. It's very active citizens. If they're very involved.
Yeah, when they're not sort of going for a walk in Kavan Park.
True. So they might,
I mean, poll turnout in Bangalore is not very high. Terrible. So it's not very different from
no, but you can't muster it up and say a Mumbai or a Delhi. They're very active. They like to look at the whole.
They don't say anything about Mumbai. It's my city.
But I believe Bangalore is the only city where you can muster up a town hall and get a full hall without in any, or maybe the smaller cities.
And again, nice people.
And nice people.
Wonderful people. Wonderfully nice people.
Very warm. But the minute you step out of Bangalore, the most disinterested voter. Haven't you noticed that?
That's true. But by the way, the other thing about Karnataka politics is not necessarily true. May not be only true of Karnataka. Very good. The knowledge of cricket. Very, very good. Mr. B.S. Bommai knew all my late father's scores when I met him. Basavaraj Bommai. Exact scores. So Siddaramaiah took time off once, famously from a cabinet meeting to go and watch a Karnataka versus Mumbai Ranji match.
We're going to talk about what could be the spillover of the results of this election, because if we saw what happened last time around, whatever happened, but when it came down to the general elections, 26 of 28 went to the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Repeat of 1984. Indira Gandhi had the Congress after Indira Gandhi's assassination swept Karnataka. 9 months later, Ramakrishna Hegde sweeps Karnataka in the state election. So Karnataka, and that's where the Kannadiga pride, the sense that when it's a state election, it's about Karnataka. When it's a general election, it's about who I want in Delhi. One last recommendation. If you're traveling, since Preeti is traveling from Bangalore all the way to Bangalore, go to Agumbe.
Okay.
It's the home of the King Cobra.
We'll get you up to speed with the latest of what you can see on TV. Thank you for joining us.